Long ago in Provence, in southern France, they had a problem. At the mouth of the Rhone River, a great monster would lie in wait. They say he was half land monster and half sea serpent, and they called him Tarasque. Now Tarasque, they said, had the face of a giant lion, and the body of a giant ox, and a great shell like a turtle with spikes coming out of it, and its tail ended in a great scorpion sting. It would lie just under the water, and as a ship came passing by, it would rise up and tip the ship over, gobbling up the people inside. Or if ships didn't come that way, as soon they didn't, it would climb up onto the shore and feed in the livestock pens or the small farms that surrounded the river. Now many knights went to get rid of this creature. They sent their greatest warriors in heavy steel armor with swords and spears, but the warriors' swords clanked against that hard shell and broke. The monster's great scorpion tail stabbed right through the armor that knights wore. Soon the knights had heard of the terror of Tarasque, and they would come nowhere near Provence. But that was when Martha arrived. She looked like an ordinary person, dressed in common clothes of those days that a farm wife or village worker might wear. No bright colors, but well dressed. She heard of Tarasque, and she asked where the creature had last been seen. And then she went to the village dressmaker and bought a great length of blue silk ribbon. The mayor of town came up to her and said, "What do you think you're doing? The greatest warriors in the land haven't been able to destroy this monster." And Martha just smiled at them and said, "Yes, you're right, they haven't been able to. But I am not a warrior. My tools come from another place." She went to the town church and filled up a small vial of holy water. And then she set off down the road toward the forest where the creature had last been seen. His trail was easy to find. Those great paw prints and that dragging tail. It wasn't long before she found the monster sitting at the edge of the forest, devouring a horse and the man that was riding it. It looked over at her and narrowed its great monster eyes and growled, "Ah!" But Martha, she took that vial of holy water and she splashed it on the monster. No one had ever thrown water at it before. That was sort of strange. And then she said, "Monster, I don't know where you come from or where you're going, but you may not be in this land anymore." "Ha ha ha!" growled the monster. "Are you going to get rid of me?" said Tarasque, who could actually speak. "Perhaps," she said. And she took that long streamer of ribbon and she whirled it around her head. And she threw it at Tarasque. And it wrapped around him. It wasn't metal, like swords, so it didn't break on the shell. It began wrapping its front paws together and wrapping around its mouth and wrapping its tail. And the creature, tied into a bundle, lay there, helpless on the ground. "Now, monster, I can't let you stay here. So you'll have to come with me. So I'll loosen your feet. But you know what can happen if you try to hurt me or anyone else as we walk." And the creature slowly nodded its head, for it had never been powerless before. And Martha, she unwrapped those legs, and using that length of ribbon, like a bridle, she led the monster out of the forest and past the village with people cheering and out into the mountains. It was a long journey, but when they finally came to a great cave, she led the monster into the cave. And as she came out, she pushed on a great big rock that was nearby, and it came crashing down over the entrance. And they say that was the end of Tarask, buried in a cave far, far away from the village. Now Martha, she went by several names. The Golden One, the woman who stopped the dragon. People are most familiar, though, with a name people gave her years and years later, for she's also Saint Martha, a woman who chased off pirates and defeated a dragon. And that's the end of that tale.